Hey everyone, Sam here giving my last update for senior semester. This might be a little lengthy one. I'm going to touch on a couple different things from overall to the beginning to senior semester, just some things that maybe I said before, but I'm going to reiterate or make sure I said them. So I did get a question on how often you run for PT. We had probably the -2 class. This is the only one it usually works that way for. Is we had 3 ACFTs. The other classes usually have 2. You don't usually take an ACFT your senior semester because they do expect you to just take one in April and October, and when you get to your new unit at your phase 2 duty location. We also had 2 or 3 battalion or brigade runs. I think we didn't participate in one. I think it either got like rained out or we had some clinical something going on that day where we were there super early. Oh, we had PAI, I believe, or height and weight. We had something that took precedence. So we don't run very often, maybe 5 times the whole time you're here. I do encourage you to run. I know if I was in PTs maybe once a week, I would go to the track right after class and go run. If I didn't make any other time during the Monday through Friday, I would run. And I'd run on the weekends. I definitely encourage everybody to continue running. For one, it will help your body, it will help your mind, it will help in so many ways, especially when you get all bogged down here. Sorry if I sound a little nasally. I have a cold, something that's going around the class right now, just in time for graduation. Excuse that. I also got a question about IPAP liaison or the IPASS liaison. So that is the only position that is asked of somebody to take on as soon as they get here, other than the class leader position. And it is truly, if you know you want to be involved in IPASS, it's definitely a good thing. And like our person for our class that does it, and it's only through phase 1, she would just hold the message, hit copy, and then paste it in our class chat. And sometimes she would report back to like the president or vice president or whoever with like information or like a head count of certain activities and that sort of thing. So it didn't take up much of her time at all. She actually went on to do the alumni relations / lunch and learn position as well. So, and she said that her 2 positions still took up less time than my historian position because it would definitely take me probably 5 to 6 hours a month to do the newsletter and print it and put it on the bulletin board and things like that. I definitely encourage you to get involved in IPASS. It is a student society, so I want to make that clear. Student society. Some people that are here right now in phase 1 have voiced that they were not involved in IPASS because it wasn't exactly what they expected or what they wanted out of a student society. Well, the whole point in a student society is to make it what you want it. So it's not going to change unless you go and voice what you want to see out of it, what you want it to do for you and for your family. What do you really want out of it, and nobody knows if you don't tell them, and it's not going to change if you don't go change it yourself. So it blows my mind that people don't understand that. It doesn't have to be what it is when you walk through the door of phase 1. You make it whatever you want it to be. Like I said that about 4 different ways, so hopefully you guys understand. Get involved and do it the way you want to do it. Don't necessarily say my predecessors did it this way, I want to see it this way. You can change it, and you can change the bylaws if they aren't the best for you, and there's so much you can do with IPASS. So you'll have time when you get here, so don't feel like you have to rush and get everything done. I won't say like put off everything, but you can tie up loose ends upon your arrival so you can make things work. Use the freshman semester to really figure out how you need to study for IPAP. A lot of people come here thinking that this is the way I study, this is the way I'm going to continue to study, this is the way that works for me, and then they're like, oh crap, I'm an adult learner now and I don't understand that this doesn't actually work. Maybe this is what I used to do because things came easy, or because it was like simpler subjects, or I wasn't an adult. But definitely use the freshman semester to like really hone in on what works for your study habits, what works for your routine, for the routine of your spouse and children if you have those, because you want to make sure that everybody is happy while you're here. Do not forget about the spouse and children, because they will remember this period of their life just as you did, and you don't want them not really remembering you as a part of it. So I definitely suggest making time in your routine of your week for your spouse, or making time for your children, or making time for you. Like, you also need to be an individual and enjoy your life. So just keep that in mind when you're trying to figure all of this out. A lot of people make time on Friday nights for date night, or Saturday mornings for kids. That's what I saw most of through my class. And then some people would say like Monday night is just like, oh, I'm not doing anything, because it was popular to take the test nights off. I rarely took a night off, but don't listen to me. It's probably just because I have to stay busy and because my family's not here. So, but I have seen divorces happen in my class in this program, and it's not pretty. And so just keep it in mind when you may think that you're the strongest marriage here, but it's worse. I believe they say it's worse than a deployment, because you're deployed in the same home. Like, you're away, but you're there at the same time, and it's really rough. So I will also say, somebody says is their best or worst classes of a semester, take that with a grain of salt, because every single person is different. We just talked about in Bible study on, not this past Monday, the one prior, me and another person were talking about our best and worst classes of the semester. They said dermatology was one of their best, and EMED, whereas those were two of my worst. Excuse me, sorry. And then they said that surgery was one of the worst, and hemonc. And whereas surgery, I did really well. I did really well in the hematology part of hemonc, but not so well in the oncology part. So everything's different for everybody. I just want you to keep that in mind. You can ask people and get their ideas, but take it with a grain of salt and just see what works for you, because all of our minds work differently. We all have different neuron synapses, and it's just how it is. I'll also say, if you want to buy a stethoscope when you get here, because you will start practicing clinicals with doing heart rates, blood pressure, and everything in freshman semester. If you're going to practice clinicals, there's stethoscopes in the clinical exam rooms. If you want to buy one, I suggest not getting a cheap one, because then you're just going to need to buy another one later. I did get a Littman, I think it's Littman 3, I think it was around $90 something or $100, and I bought it on Prime Day, so it was a few dollars off. So I definitely suggest getting a Littman if you can afford one, or at least waiting until you can, rather than buying a cheap stethoscope off of Amazon that was a no-name and doesn't really work, and then you're having to buy another one anyway. So there are ones in the clinical exam rooms to use. There are a limited number, but there are some in some of the drawers to use until you have your own, or the whole time you're here, if you so choose to not get one until you get to phase 2, but you will eventually need to get one. I encourage Bible study. It is a great resource for everybody that would give the time for it. You also meet people from all the other classes. So right now we have freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors. So It's a really good experience. We also sometimes have teachers come and share their thoughts or experiences being a Christian PA, so that's a really good opportunity. I would also encourage you to get involved with Fellowship of Christian PAs if you can. One of the instructors did tell us that they will help fund a first mission journey, I believe. I haven't looked into it, but it's definitely something I want to look into. So a couple things about senior semester is the labs. The labs were amazing. So you're going to have a couple labs at the end of senior semester to really get hands-on, and I will say take them as serious as you can. Don't stress or have anxiety, anything like that, but really take them for an amazing learning experience. I loved every single bit of the last 2 weeks that we've had. We've got more hands-on, I feel like, and learning so much in such a short amount of time. It's really just putting into practice stuff that we've been taught, and that's where I learn. So that's why I appreciate it so much, is I really strive in the hands-on environment, because that's what makes everything click for me here. Today we actually took BLS, so we got recertified in CPR for the next 2 years. So this will carry us through phase 2 for most people, I guess. Yesterday we took the PACKRAT, which, for anybody that hasn't heard of it, I know we kind of all know what it is usually, but it's the Physician Assistant Clinical Knowledge Rating and Assessment Tool. So we took a PACKRAT yesterday. I will let you know, bring your charger. I took it and it drained my battery life on my computer. Sorry if you heard the AC kick on. I'm in a hotel for my last week, and because I cleaned out my apartment, and it's next to me, it just kicked on. But the PACKRAT uses a special secure tool to take the assessment, and it drained the battery out of my computer so fast. And I didn't bring my charger because I don't normally bring my charger, because my computer usually lasts at least for the day. So my computer died. I had to rush back to the hotel, plug my computer back in, and now there's like a little snafu with my assessment not currently being in the computer. But hopefully that works out. One of the instructors that's in charge of it, he's really doing well on. I'm not the only one, but other people who maybe lost internet connection during the assessment and stuff like that, they also are having trouble. So hopefully it gets fixed and everything works out. So one of the changes with phase 2, for anybody that doesn't know, when you go do EMED hours, emergency medicine hours in phase 2, what has been the case in the past, you do 2 weeks of dedicated emergency medicine time, and then you have to get another 160 hours of emergency medicine. That's on your time. So you're going to find evenings, weekends, holidays that you're going to go in and get at least 160 hours. I think it's 160 total, or in addition. I think it's in addition. I think you need 200 total, but don't take my word for it. Just follow whatever. But that's actually changing, so actually don't follow that at all. It's changing to where you don't have to give up your time. You're going to be doing 6 weeks of just dedicated emergency medicine time. And that is amazing. That gives you so much of your own time back. And it's so relieving, in my opinion. And it probably helps the providers as well, because a preceptor can only have one student working with them. So I think it's going to help everybody all around. Sorry. We also met with Major Rose, who's currently at HRC, the one that can't give slots to people that are going from phase 2 to their duty location after phase 2. So he said about 4 to 6 months in from phase 2, you'll get paperwork to fill out. Include if you're MACP, EFMP, or high school stabilization. Those are prioritized. And then, excuse me, I'm gonna get a drink. Those are prioritized. And then also 4 to 6 months out from the graduation phase 2, you should get your orders. However, that doesn't always work out. I think the people at BOLC now got their orders 1 to 2 weeks before they had to be there. It was a real last minute, but it will work out, but that's their goal, is 4 to 6 months. Also, he told us GPA can change your after phase 2 location. It does not change your phase 2 on arriving here, but it can change after phase 2. So if he has several people that are going on to a new duty station after phase 2, and a lot of people maybe want to stay at Fort Carson, he's going to look at where you were at in your class and then on your wish list. And so if you were number 1, distinguished honor grad, you're probably going to keep your number 1 on your wish list as long as it's available in the Army. But if you did not do well, for example, he said academic recycles are automatically bottom of the barrel, so they automatically get like last pick or something, unless maybe they really wanted Fort Hood or somewhere where not a lot of people are jumping to get for after phase 2. Also, if you are already BOLC complete or SLC complete in phase 2, you will do a packet of paperwork in order to kind of waive the requirement for you to take AMEDD BOLC. Don't forget about TLE when you're, excuse me. I don't know why this cough is attacking me now. TLE for moving, 14 days CONUS, 7 days OCONUS, hotel and meals. If there's anything I left out or any questions you have, please let me know. And I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you when I get to phase 2. Bye.